and welcome back to the Mind of an Interior Designer podcast. I am your host Ellie Fenlon, and on today's episode it is a topic I am most passionate about. Okay, I didn't actually ever think I'd be doing a podcast episode on this, but today is the day. We're actually going to be discussing normalising living at home in your late 20s, which at the minute is a quite a big topic I would like to say that I am an advocate for on my social channels. I'm actually doing a bedroom makeover because I myself am in my late 20s. I'm actually 27 at the end of this month, and I am doing a complete 360 of my current bedroom, a bedroom makeover, and I'm really enjoying it. Everyone on socials is enjoying it, especially those who are actually still living at home themselves, because I don't think we normalise it enough, and I think it's something that I want to speak on. So why not speak about it on the podcast? So as I said, if you do follow me over on my socials at Fenlon Interiors, whether that be over here on YouTube or on my Instagram, you'll know that I'm doing a bedroom series. And the reason that started is because of a crushed velvet headboard that I had shamefully had in my room since I was about 19. So for the past 6 or 7 years I have had that headboard, and it got me a lot of stick. Being a home interior content creator, the stick that I got was a lot. Don't get me wrong, I took it on the chin, you know me, I can take it, and I totally got it as well. Like, it was quite embarrassing. Like, that was definitely been and gone, dead in the ground. It was given live, laugh, love. It was definitely not given the person I am. And I think because I'd honestly concentrated on helping everybody else through social media, having my own clients, I just didn't focus on my space, and that was okay for me, because personally my bedroom space is not somewhere I tend to go a lot. Like, I literally sleep there, like, and that's it. I actually love being in here, I love being in our living room, and I sort of love being a lot out the house. Like, I am a very independent girly, I love to just do my own thing. So in terms of my bedroom, it wasn't really a priority for me, and then it sort of hit me. I was like, right, I do feel a bit embarrassed now, and I know I shouldn't think that and think of the judgment of others, I know that, but I was like, right, I need to sort this space out. And then it got me thinking as well, because I didn't only get hate on the headboard, I actually got a lot of hate, believe it or not, for being in my late 20s and living at home. First and foremost, I got a lot of hate for not looking in my 20s. Someone said that I actually look 55. If you're watching on YouTube, please tread carefully in the comments. I hope to God that I don't look 55. I still get ID'd in the Tesco. So, you know, I'm okay. But I'm still not over that, by the way. It's so funny because the people who know me DM me and was like, are they mad? Like, I'd like to think I have got a baby face. Like, I've got makeup on now filming this, but I really got a baby face. Anyway, I thought I need to take this matter into my own hands this year, and I need to focus on me. And like I said, I'm very like Soho home. I love neutrals. I love classy, like, hotel vibes. My bedroom was definitely not given that. It was given childlike. It was really embarrassing. And as well, I find that our bedroom space can actually hang on to a lot of stagnant energy from the past. I am a true believer in that. And if you listened along to a previous episode, I actually did mention that, because there was a viewer question that was like about their ex-fella, and that they broke up with them, and that they wanted like to create a better space because all they could think about was them. And my top tip was literally to like declutter, do the space up, reinvent it. So that's kind of like the vibe that I was going off. But in saying that, as I said, like, a lot of people were like shocked that I was still living at home, especially in my job. Like, I am a home interior content creator and I still live at home. Like, I go to events and people would be like, oh my God, I just love your house. And I'd be like, thank you, it's not mine. Like, I still live at home. They'd be like, oh my God, do you? And I'd be like, yeah. And like, I don't know, to some level of extent, I was embarrassed at some point in that. I was really embarrassed. I was like, I can't believe, like, I've got the audacity to work as this being my job, and like, I'm still living at home. And like, I felt like there was an aspect of like, I didn't feel successful because of that. And when I spoke to other people about it, not even in my field, so many girls and boys, I think more so girls who I've spoke to, have felt this way, especially due to like social media. And that's really why I wanted to come on and talk about it, to sort of give you a little bit of, you're not alone kind of thing. Because honestly, if someone did a podcast on this now, it would help me so much in knowing I'm okay, I'm doing okay, and we're going to talk about the fors and against. And by the way, in no way, shape, or form will I be offending anybody in their late 20s that does own a home, by the way, because absolute kudos to you. Like, obviously, if that makes you happy, brilliant, but that's kind of what I'm basing this on as well, is about being happy at home, regardless whether that be your own or not. So, one of the big facts that I've seen as well was some data. Who is she with the percentages? You know, I love a percentage, especially when we did the Pinterest trend report, we were all about percentages. And it said, a recent study, 28% of young adults aged 20 to 34 are currently living at home with their parents. So that's actually been an 8% rise since 2006. So there is a lot more people living at home. So if that makes you feel any better out there, it is normal. Okay, I think we are so prone, I am myself, looking left and right on social media. Like, it's so bad. Like, think about like when our parents were younger, you'd only hear about it when you catch up or you'd ring them from the phone box. Like, my mum and dad always say that, like, you'd like do stuff the weekend or whatever and you wouldn't know until like time gone by and be like, oh yeah, do you know what I mean? As where now it's so instantaneous. We know what everyone's doing, when they're doing it, and if someone's not posting it on social media, we're like, oh my god, they haven't posted that, or why haven't they posted that? We feel like this need to know what everyone's doing when they're doing it, and to gauge their life and their successes based on what they're posting, which is crazy. Obviously this is my job, but sometimes I think there's aspects of social media that I would like to go back in time. Like, sometimes I think I was born in the right day and age, and then sometimes I'm like, really, was I? I'm not so sure. So obviously there's a lot of contributing factors, you know, rise in house costs, high rent, economic challenges, and as well like pay and stuff from our jobs, like minimum wage and things like that. Like, it's not really helping the girls and the guys out, really, is it, for us in potentially like owning our own home. And don't get me wrong, these are definitely a huge factor in a lot of people. Like, I know so many people who do want to move out and that is their main factor, but I also know people who've actually went about moving out and actually come back home because they realised it wasn't for them, and that is okay too. And like, for me, like, I'm going to be real with you. My job, I love my job. I'm so career focused and I love being at home. I'm really grateful. I know so many people aren't in their family environment, and I'm totally understanding of that. But I feel like because I'm so grateful for what I do have, like the time that you're never going to get back, I want to take it all in, and I still want to live at home. Like, honestly, I go away for about 5 days. I went to Dubai last year and I come home to my mum and it was like I've been away all year. I was like, oh my god, imagine if I ever moved out. And I am really lucky in such a loving environment, and I speak to so many people who say they'd hate to move out for that reason, and I don't think there's any harm in that either. I think it has nothing to do with this idea of like, oh, like you're lazy, oh, like, you know, even like, this is going to sound very controversial, I don't like when girls say about lads living in their mum's back room. And I know that's going to sound really controversial. And I think when girls have trouble with lads, I know I've been there myself in that sense, where we like automatically go, still living at home with the mum, still in the box room in the mum's. And it is our natural go-to shout. But I know so many lads who've got a basic car who still living with their mum, and they're minted. They could buy a house tomorrow, but they just don't want to. It's got absolutely zero relation to their success value because they've most of the time got amazing jobs and they're just living within the means. And when they probably find the right girl or the timing is right for them, they'll do all them things and they'll be in a great position. A lot of them invest as well. Like, all these amazing successful entrepreneurs I see actually live at home for so long, take advantage of it and build incredible businesses and companies. So you'd be surprised, a lot of people who are at home, it has nothing to do with success value because they probably have got more money than the majority of us. Do you know what I mean? And by the way, that is no way, shape or form saying that if you do own a house you are not successful, because my god, if you've got a house at my age, I honestly kudos to you. Because if I'm being real with you, even going off the fact that like I love living at home, I don't have a deposit down for a house and I don't want to. Okay, and it's laughable, isn't it, really, because of my job. And you know, I'm saying like obviously all my product recommendations and home recommendations, I know for a fact when I do eventually get my home, it's going to be amazing. I want a massive renovation, to be honest with you. And I always think the universe is definitely saying to me, you can't have a house right now, because honestly the things I want, the products I want, and the price I couldn't afford right now, and I'd be more angry at the fact, do you know what I mean? And like, it's just not a goal in my path. And like, you know, we look at these people who say like 5-year plan and things like that. Like, that's okay if it's not in your 5-year plan. Like, I'm 27 at the end of this month. I will probably cry on my birthday because I can't help but feel like I'm behind in my life. Like, everyone you speak to feels like that. Like, people say to me all the time about like my career and what I'm doing, like, oh my god and all this, I feel so behind still. Like, honestly, you'd be surprised. So don't think like social media, like, it honestly can fool you into thinking that you need to be somewhere that you don't need to be. Like, it really does. Like, I know for a fact, like, you know, we're seeing people more so now at this age, like getting engaged, jangling them keys, having babies, getting married. And I am so happy for all them people. There's so many people in my friendship group, like, that's already happening too. And I couldn't be more happier for them, because I know that's what's making them happy. But personally, that's not going to make me happy. But then we can't help question seeing that, oh, should I be there? When really we just should be present in like what we're feeling. Like, you might want to travel more, you might not even want to live in your city, like in your hometown. Like, you might have career goals, you might want to do XYZ, you might not want to move out till you're 50, and that is absolutely fine. Our life stages shouldn't be defined on what we're seeing other people do, and especially other people on social media. And that brings me to something as well, like on Instagram. I seen this girl, an amazing girl, she's gorge, and she does like talks like poems, if that makes sense. And I always see people do like video content over it, and it's like about like your girlfriends or like your first love and stuff like that. And I think she done one, I can't remember for the life of me, but it was like about celebrating friends. So like celebrating like friends that are leaving toxic relationships, celebrating friends who've just got a new job, celebrating a friend who's just decided to travel at 40. You know, it's other aspects that we should be defining success on, not just like living at home. I feel I have digressed there, by the way. I sometimes do this, okay? I literally wanted to talk about like normalising home life and also talking about the home, and I've gone off talking about social media. I actually can't help myself. But I honestly feel like sometimes you just want to feel that comfort that you're not the only one, because sometimes it can feel so isolating, and it's not a nice feeling. I know for a fact it's not. But when you actually look inward and think, is this something I want in 1 year, in 5 years? Is this something that's going to make me happy? You'll feel at peace. Like, I was looking left and right for so long over the whole house thing. And when I looked inward, I was like, is that going to make me happy? And I was like, no. And I was like, so why am I getting myself in all in big state, thinking that's what I want when I absolutely don't? Do you know what I mean? And by the way, if you are, I've got your own house out there, because I feel like it's probably the majority do have their own house. Like, when I did a poll on my Instagram, I was like, who lives at home in the 20s? And it was like 18% of people. I was like, oh no, this is tragic. This is probably most of my podcast viewers. But at the same time, I'm not dismissing the fact that you have your own house, because as I say, that's amazing. Like, that is an amazing success to be on the property ladder. It really, really is. But it's also okay not to be as well. Do you see what I'm saying? So yeah, basically as well, I've got down here just a few notes, you know, very professional. Life stages in general are delayed. Career, marriage, home ownership, a lot of these things are. Like, you know, you look back to our parents' day and age, and it all happened very early on. Now, I quite am in a lucky position where I don't feel as stressed, because I hear of people, their parents getting married at a very young age, like 18. My goodness, I feel like a child now. Imagine getting married at 18. I could never. But my mum and dad actually got married in their late 20s, and they've actually lived in this house since that, which is insane. I don't know how long it's been, maybe like 40 years, which is crazy. But they did a lot in their life, as well as like owned a home. Do you know what I mean? Like, they sort of lived as well, and that's kind of like what I want to do. So I think in that aspect, I don't feel under pressure, because I know my own parents have done that. But I can understand completely if you're looking at your own parents and they got married at 18, got a house, this, that and the other. It's just different. It's just a different day and age. And I think if your parents understand that aspect as well, it can be really comforting in knowing that, okay, maybe I'm not doing so bad not having my own house. And you'd be surprised, a lot of people's parents, when they have moved out, episodes are absolutely wounded. So if you're basing it off that, probably don't, because you'd be surprised your parents would be sad to see you, even if you have like banter or jokes or whatever. And it can sometimes lead into like big fights and whatever. Like probably the house would be very quiet without you, especially if you've been living there for like the majority of your life until your late 20s. Do you know what I mean? So definitely appreciate the time whilst you can, because once you buy a house, probably people who are listening who do own a house, the bills and everything else that comes with it, it's not cheap. Do you know what I mean? Like I probably think for a lot of the beginning of the time, especially if you're like middle class like myself, you will probably be paying bills and not really, going to your weekly trip in Zara or going on that lovely holiday maybe. Like I said, I do not know. I don't have a house, so that could be like the worst opinion ever, and like tell me to shut up if you need to. Honestly, sorry, every time I come in here and record a podcast, when I say it's freezing cold in here, my nose is like a tap. It's sorry if you're listening to this podcast, it's tragic, to be honest. Like this room, like this, so this is going off it as well. I was going to talk about like how to make your house feel more like your home when you live in a home. I have like this is basically like a studio, but it's basically a granny annex. Like it's granny flat. Like it's literally so cold, and I should have got underfloor heating. That's a big mistake. Big mistake. Anyway, honestly, I'm literally going off on one, but you're used to me by now, especially if you're 3 episodes in this year, you're defo used to me digressing. I can't help it. But it's like I feel like I'm on FaceTime to mates and I'm just having a little chin wag. That's kind of the vibe over here. So, if you're into that, defo make sure you are subscribing and liking this video. It would mean a lot. So yeah, obviously, as I said before, cultural perception is this idea of failure to launch because you haven't got your own house. But reality of modern life is it actually could be a smart financial move, saving money to get a better house, bigger deposit, like myself, saving up so that I can actually afford the furniture I want instead of sort of scrimping and scraping. You're not spending on bills, but experience, and also maybe you'd invest it in the stock so that actually later on you're going to have more money for yourself as well. It can also feel like a bit stagnant and scary, don't get me wrong. Like at this age, I feel like I have no real plan, and that's okay. I think like I have obviously a plan with Feminine Interiors, but apart from that, like there's no other real plan. And I think we can often feel this sense of overwhelm that we need a plan. We need a 5-year plan on when to buy a house. We need a 5-year plan on when we want to get married, have kids, this, that and the other. 1, life gets in the way, and 2, there is a lot to be thinking about, like a lot. So don't put yourself under pressure, and like in that sense as well, it can really like affect your mental health. Like, why would you want to move out just to feel like lonely, like just to jangle your keys on your Instagram? Do you know what I mean? Like if you've got a good home life and you're enjoying like being around people, and then you move out, like that can be really difficult to navigate. Like, and in saying that, like I also know people who've moved out and they love being on their own. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my own company, but I'm very much a social character. Like I need to see people, I need to yap, me. So like it kind of is mixed. So like if I was to move out now, it would definitely be on my own, but the idea of that just isn't for me. I'd get the chance to have my own space when I want, which we're going to move on to. So like why would I do that? But then I understand, like I said before, like relationships with families can be difficult, and I understand it's definitely half. Like some people don't have a very good home life, and I totally understand that you're trying your best to move out. And honestly, like in terms of financials, I hope and pray for anyone who is listening and do really need to like get out, but I hope that all works out for you. And if you put a house down, and I hope the universe does grant you it, like I really do. But if you are struggling with living at home in your late 20s and you need to get out and there's just no way of getting out, but you have a good enough home life, I am going to give you a few interior tips on how to make your family home feel like your own home. So first and foremost is having a dedicated space. It's perfect, whether that be your bedroom or, like me with my little granny flat. It's not a granny flat, it's actually a gorgeous studio space. It's actually like, it was an interior studio, now it's turned into a post office, style and storage unit, vintage space, and a podcast studio. It really is multifunctional. This is not what I'm wanting, by the way, at the minute, but if you're honestly, please follow me on Instagram and TikTok. We do have a laugh over there. This whole area behind, if you're watching on YouTube, is embarrassing. I would not want anyone to see it. They would be shocked as to who I am and what this space looks like. It's not given feminine interiors, it's given trash. It's given trash, it really is. So yeah, if you've got a bedroom or a granny flat, be either or, first and foremost is reading your space. What's affecting you? Why is it not feeling like a comfortable environment where you can escape to? You know, you just had your tea, there's a kick off in the living room as to who's watching what, you just can't be doing with it and you need to go upstairs. When you get there, what are you feeling like? Address that with yourself. What's the vibes? And then once you've done that, it's not even about spending money, it's about rearranging what you've already got. Have a little rearrange, you know, get the feng shui going. Although, I should do a topic. Do you want me to just, you know what, feng shui could be a boss separate topic. Yeah, it's happening. Future plans, so if you're not subscribed, get on the subscription because it's free for one, listening to me about interior, but feng shui is actually a really good topic. Thanks. Thank you for thinking of that. Yeah, so rearrange your furniture, see the vibes, you know. I don't know about you, but like, I love doing that. Have you seen those hilarious TikToks where it's like when you tidy your room and you find all sorts and they've got like the randomest hat on and all accessories and you're like, why have I still got them? But it's just so fun. It actually might bring like the room alive again and just make it more fun. Like as I said before, I'm doing my bedroom like up completely and it's not going to cost me a fortune or not. Like I've got the bases, but it's just about being clever about it, like adding personal touches, like accessories is great, like getting some fresh bedding, new cushions, swap your mirror out if it's just looking a little bit shabby, do you know what I mean? I've actually got IKEA wardrobes, I rate them highly, I think they're great, especially if you go to IKEA themselves and they help you build like your dream wardrobe space. I absolutely love the insert. The doors are like just looking a bit, yeah, do you know what I mean? They're actually high gloss, sorry, who has high gloss these days? Who has crushed velvet, let alone high gloss? I'm just gonna get new doors, which is the perk of the Pax wardrobes, and it'll just give it a freshen up. It'll probably cost me not really that much for a door, well, 4 I need. So think of stuff like that as well. Maybe panel them, go to B&Q, get them measured, throw them on your wardrobes. Just a little bit of a glow up is all it might need to make you fall back in love with your space again. I mentioned as well on the last podcast about like mood lighting and things like that. That's great. Team Ban the Big Light anyway, as we know, we didn't go through that again. What about like adding like maybe some like Himalayan salt lamps, one of those starry night lights, and as well I mentioned the fact that I don't have a TV in my room, which is still standby, but then projectors, everyone's raving about them, aren't they? And I'm thinking, do I need one of these in my life? Throwing it on Amazon. I'm thinking possibly could just add the comfort value, just take it to the next level, do you know what I mean? As well, by the way, going off on one because it just came up, this isn't just about people who live in the late 20s who feel like this. I know people in their 30s who also are feeling like this. So this is a shout out to you. If you feel like you're behind on houses, engagement, marriage, things like that, don't. Just don't. I'm going to stop you right there, okay? Don't feel like that. Really, please don't. I know loads of people in their 30s who are feeling like this at the minute and it upsets me because, don't get me wrong, I can't judge because I'm not there in that age bracket yet. But I get it. Like, we can feel like that, but come off social media for a week, have a little refresh, you'll feel better. No, okay, so back to the interior helpful guide. Plants as well, very good biophilic design, very good for our mental health as well. Separate topic on that, I should do a separate topic on that. All ideas are just flowing to me, I'm in the flow use. Yeah, plants are great, you don't even have to be real, they can be fake, it's all about the colour with our brains, mental health and all that. Very, do you know what, such an interesting topic. Because I actually did that for my university dissertation and I got a first. It was sick. It was so good. I actually did business, didn't even do interior design, and I did about like how the environment in which like workers are, it actually affects their productivity and also mental health and things like that. Oh my god, such a good topic. Okay, leave that with me. And the final point is enjoying the space. Like, I know loads of people who go back to their family bedrooms when they're older and they get emotional, or like they've had kids and then their kids are now staying like in their old like bedroom and they're like, oh, so many memories here. So like take it for what it is, enjoy every moment. Like so many people commented when I did that video saying like, hi, I'm Ellie, I'm 26 and I still live at home with my parents. That was the intro of the video. Very good intro to the video. But people were like saying like, oh, Elle, like stay with your parents like as long as you can. And loads of people saying like you'll never get that time back, and nah. I can't talk about that actually because I actually start crying, so that's dramatic, but I actually do. So yeah, we're not going to go there because I'm getting choked. It's embarrassing. Yeah, I think you don't get that time back, and that's the most important thing. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's that. Sorry, let's not. So yeah, by combining all these approaches, you know, rearrange furniture, personal touches, plants, lighting, projector, being grateful for, you know, being at home and having a roof over your head, especially with the current things that are going on in the world right now. Honestly, it's heartbreaking. So just to be grateful that you do have a roof over your head is something in itself. But I just want to remember that everyone's journey looks so different. There is no right way to live at this stage of life, and don't let social media lead you onto a path you don't even want. Enjoy every minute of it and pick some fab trinkets for your future home along the way when you're eventually ready, even if that'll be at 50 years old. That's okay, and you'll enjoy every minute of it, whether it be a Renault or a new build. So yeah, if you are like me and you are living at home in your late 20s, or in my case apparently I look 55, so who knows how old I am. It's like Benjamin Button over here. Yeah, whatever age you be, like, it's okay. Just take life at your own pace, enjoy every minute, don't be bothered about what other people's like opinion of the matter is. Engage in your success values off a pair of keys, do you know what I mean? Enjoy every minute of life. And if you are a homeowner in your late 20s, I hope you're enjoying every minute of your new home. And I also hope you're following me for loads of home interior advice. I usually do a listener question at the end, but unfortunately, me being silly and daft, I have not actually put it on my social media to ask someone for a question. But to be fair, I think we've asked a lot of, is it home hitting topics? Is that the word, like home hitting? And then it is about the home, so is that like controversial? I don't know. Yeah, we have touched on a lot of personal matters today, so I think a podcast, I feel like this in itself even is a listener question. Or maybe it's just me like having a personal therapy session to my camera, I do not know. But I do hope you have enjoyed this podcast. The next one will be solely about interiors and maybe not so personal about my life. And I do hope you have enjoyed it, as I said, and please do make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss another episode, and I will catch you on the next episode of An In Mind of Interior Designer.